If you truly grasp this truth, you will begin to see how absurd it is to exhaust yourself over the trivial disturbances of everyday life. In reality, most of us are struggling with problems of which 90% are self-created. Why? Because that difficult coworker, that irritable boss, or anyone you happen to cross paths with today, they are all fighting battles of their own. And the truth is, they likely don't even remember what they said to you. Yet you replay their words, their looks, their attitudes over and over again, assigning them meanings, building stories around them. But there was a group of people who understood this thousands of years ago, the Stoics. And they practiced these lessons day after day, relentlessly, for a lifetime. It is time to accept this uncomfortable truth, because it is the only key that can set you truly free. And before we begin, if you find this message valuable, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything from the Stoic path. Now, let's begin. 1. The War of Energy Coins. Picture this. Every morning you wake up with exactly 100 gold coins in your pocket. But these aren't coins you use to buy coffee or pay bills. They are your mental energy, your only real currency to live a meaningful day. And yet, look at how we spend them. It's terrible. You step outside, immediately hit by traffic, noise, and polluted air. And just like that, you throw away 20 coins on frustration, on cursing strangers you don't even know. Then you get to work, and you spend another 30 coins quietly checking your reflection, worrying whether your coworkers noticed a tiny stain on your shirt, or if your outfit makes you look less impressive. And then comes the peak of waste. You spend 40 coins replaying a mistake, a careless sentence from 3 years ago. You see it now, don't you? It's not even noon, and you're already bankrupt. You have nothing left for the person waiting for you at home, nothing left for the dreams you once cared about, and most importantly, nothing left for your own peace of mind. This lack of awareness is the real trap. We keep burning energy trying to control things that, quite frankly, don't even notice our existence. I've had nights where I stayed awake, obsessing over what people might be thinking about me, only to realize a bitter truth. While I was torturing myself with their imagined judgments, they probably didn't even remember I existed. Trying to control other people's thoughts is like standing in front of the ocean, straining to push the waves back because you don't want your feet to get wet. Ridiculous, right? The waves will come. The sea will always be wet. That's the nature of reality. So instead of fighting the ocean, why not learn to stand steady on the sand? Or simply accept the water as part of the experience? Because the moment you stop throwing your coins into meaningless battles, you'll discover something unexpected. You become rich. Not in your wallet, but in the quiet, unshakable wealth of a calm mind. 2. Don't become a slave to the perfect script. The biggest mistake that keeps us trapped in quiet suffering is clinging to a perfect script in our minds. You know that script, don't you? A long list of expectations. Your children should behave. Your boss should be understanding. The weather should cooperate, especially right after you wash your car. But life doesn't follow anyone's script. And when reality pours cold water all over it, we lose control. We feel betrayed by life itself. Stoic philosophy doesn't teach you how to rewrite the world, because you'll never have that kind of power. It teaches you how to tear up the outdated script in your head. Look at Epictetus, a man born into slavery, beaten until his leg was permanently damaged. He didn't spend his life dreaming of a perfect version of himself. He accepted reality and said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen." It wasn't his injured leg that made him suffer. It was the thought, "I should have been different." Now bring that mindset into something small. You plan a romantic dinner. The food arrives, cold. In that moment, you stand at a crossroads. One path turns you into a victim, complaining, reacting, slowly destroying your own evening. The other path? You smile, accept that the restaurant's mistake is beyond your control, and focus on the person sitting across from you. Remember this: the cold plate in front of you has no power to hurt you. What hurts you is the judgment. How dare they treat me like this? The Stoics called this amor fati, the love of fate, not passive surrender, but clear awareness, refusing to waste even a second on what is already done. When life refuses to follow your script, ask a better question. What can I learn from the script life is writing for me right now? That's the moment something shifts. That's the moment you stop reacting and start becoming free. 3. Inner dialogue. Are you your own best friend or your worst enemy? Face this truth directly. Most of the pain you are carrying does not come from failure itself, but from the way you narrate it inside your own mind. The moment you ruin a project or let one awkward sentence slip out, your mind instantly turns into an arena where you are both the one being punished and the executioner holding the whip. Why are we so cruel to ourselves? Because we get trapped inside an emotional collision. We confuse a mistake with our identity. But remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. And that includes the insults inside your own head. They are not your essence. They are temporary judgments, nothing more. To break free, don't try to soothe yourself with hollow positivity or comforting illusions. Learn to separate reason from reaction. The next time you feel that surge of negative electricity racing through your mind, step back. Just one step. Look at the mistake as if it belonged to a character in a film, or as if it were a specimen under laboratory light. Instead of shouting, "Why am I so stupid?" ask, with calm precision, what data led to this result? What variable can be changed next time? The Stoics never wasted time humiliating themselves. They treated failure as technical feedback. And the moment you separate the wounded, fragile I from the event itself, those poisonous voices lose their audience. And when they lose their audience, they fall silent. So do not turn your mind into a prison. Turn it into a command center, a place where every mistake is examined with a cool head and exchanged for growth. That is what real freedom looks like. 4. Voluntary discomfort, a vaccine for the soul. Have you ever wondered why we collapse so easily under life's minor inconveniences? It's simple. We've been comforted into weakness. We fear the heat, we fear the cold, we fear hunger, and above all, we fear rejection. We live in air-conditioned rooms, eat meals delivered to our doors, and scroll endlessly to escape reality. Without realizing it, we've locked ourselves inside a glass cage, a place where even the smallest crack from adversity can shatter our entire world. The Stoics saw this trap thousands of years ago, and they proposed a concept that sounds harsh, but is profoundly wise: voluntary discomfort. Seneca, a man of immense wealth and influence in the Roman Empire, once advised his friends, "Set aside a number of days during which you are content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself, 'Is this the condition that I feared?' This isn't some performance of fake poverty. It's training. When you take a cold shower on a freezing morning, when you choose the hard floor over a soft bed, when you skip a meal even though you can afford more, you are administering a powerful vaccine, a vaccine against fear. Think about the lives of high performers, elite athletes, disciplined soldiers, people who operate under pressure. They don't choose difficulty because they lack comfort. They choose it because they understand a brutal truth. Comfort is the silent enemy of growth. A blacksmith never fears fire because he knows it is the furnace that shapes steel into something unbreakable. Without fire, iron remains useless. So does the human spirit. I once knew someone who always walked up 10 flights of stairs instead of taking the elevator, who took cold showers even when the air felt like ice. He told me something I never forgot. I practice discomfort when life is easy, so when life becomes hard, it feels normal. That's the shift. When you willingly face discomfort, you build a mental immune system. So when real adversity arrives, loss, rejection, uncertainty, you don't panic. You don't see yourself as a victim, because you've already met hardship before. On your own terms, you realize hunger won't destroy you. Lack won't erase your dignity. Discomfort is temporary and survivable. So don't wait for the storm to arrive before you start preparing. Start small. Turn off the air conditioning for a while. Skip one unnecessary comfort. Face one difficult conversation you've been avoiding. Each time you choose the harder path, you are forging something rare, an inner steel, because a life that is too smooth is a dangerous life. It prepares you for nothing. 5. Impermanence, the antidote to greed and anxiety. We spend our entire lives doing one thing, collecting. Collecting money in our accounts. Collecting status in the eyes of others. Even trying to own the people around us. But have you ever stopped to ask, why is it that the more we have, the more afraid we become? Because loss follows possession like a shadow. And the higher you climb, the darker that shadow grows. The truth is this: everything you have, the phone in your hand, the home you live in, even the people you love, none of it truly belongs to you. They are all on loan. The universe lends them to you for a while, and it can take them back at any moment without warning. It sounds harsh, maybe even cold, but this idea is not meant to break you. It is meant to free you. In Stoicism, there is a practice called memento mori. Remember that you will die. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. And when you truly understand impermanence, everything changes. Let's make it real. If today were the last day you had with your parents, would you still spend the evening scrolling on your phone? If you knew your title, your status, your identity could disappear tomorrow, would you still act with arrogance toward others? Impermanence doesn't make life meaningless. It makes it intense. It strips away the noise, the grudges, the pointless worries. Because when time is limited, wasting it becomes unbearable. Even Steve Jobs once said something deeply aligned with this idea. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because in the face of death, fear fades, ego dissolves. Only what truly matters remains. Impermanence teaches you how to love without trying to possess, how to enjoy without clinging. You cherish the present not because it will last forever, but because it won't. And when you stop delaying kindness, when you start fully living what you already have, something quiet happens inside you. You find peace, right in the middle of a world that never stops changing. Because deep down, you finally understand. There is no time left for what doesn't matter. 6. Quiet kindness. Don't talk about Stoicism. Live it. There's something almost ironic about this. We can read dozens of books, watch hundreds of videos about philosophy, and then walk around debating what it means to live well. We become philosophers behind a screen, but forget to practice anything once we step into real life. Marcus Aurelius once wrote a line as sharp as a blade. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. That's the essence. Stoicism is not a subject to study. It's a discipline to embody, like martial arts for the soul. And in martial arts, you don't grow stronger by watching others fight. You step onto the mat. So what does that look like in everyday life? It means when you face a choice between what's easy and what's right, you choose what's right. It means telling the truth when lying would be more convenient. It means finishing what you promised, even when you feel exhausted. Stoicism doesn't require grand speeches or heroic acts. Its true form lives in the quietest moments. How you act when no one is watching. How you keep promises you made to yourself. How you treat someone who can offer you nothing in return. Consider James Stockdale, a man who survived years of imprisonment and torture. He didn't survive by analyzing philosophy. He survived by living it, breathing it into every moment, holding on to his principles in the darkest conditions imaginable. But you don't need a battlefield to practice this. Life is already testing you every single day. A message that provokes you, a plan that falls apart, a sudden frustration you didn't expect. That's your arena. And here's the truth. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. Start small, but stay consistent. If you say you'll wake up early, wake up early. If you say you'll complain less, stay silent when anger rises. Because the greatness of a Stoic is not in lofty ideas. It's in the alignment between words and actions. The world doesn't need more people who talk about virtue. It needs people who live it quietly, steadily, without applause. Let your actions speak louder than your knowledge. That is where philosophy ends, and where real freedom begins. Conclusion. Start with the smallest things. So here we are, after walking through the hidden corners of the mind together. But remember this, Stoicism was never meant to hang on your wall like decoration, or to be casually discussed over idle conversations. It's something you carry into the kitchen while cooking, onto the street when traffic tests your patience, and into the office when pressure begins to weigh on you. Many people believe happiness is a distant destination, a perfect island where storms never exist. But the truth is something far more grounded. Real happiness is knowing that your hands are steady enough to hold the wheel and guide your ship through any storm that comes. Today, the greatest victory of a Stoic might be something very small. Not losing your temper when someone cuts you off. Smiling calmly when you're rejected. That's it. And yet, that alone already puts you ahead of millions. Let this stay with you one final truth, unshakable. Life may take your money, your status, your health, even the people you love most. But there is one thing no one, no circumstance can ever take from you: your ability to choose your response. That freedom is yours until your very last breath. Never give it away. And before you leave this video, ask yourself one simple question. Today, how many energy coins did you waste? Write your number in the comments. Thank you for walking this path with the Stoic path. Now go, step back into the world, and begin the real journey, mastering yourself. We'll meet again in the next one.